Hi guys. So I wanted to record a quick video on how to, how to install SQLite and SQLite Studio. That's what we'll be using for the next class when we start learning SQL. So it's really quick and easy, but a couple of people struggled with it. So I thought it might be helpful if I'll record and show you what I did, what my steps are. And again, keep in mind, I am on Windows. So if you're using Mac operating system, you might want to look at the documents in Canvas, but there is a lot of different information online on how to install it on Mac, so you should be able to install it. All right, so let's start. Let's start from the very basic introduction to the database. So there is 3 databases in these slides. I encourage you to select the one you will be using. We will be using SQLite in class, but there is also SQL Express, and I know that a couple of students ask for SQL Express installation. We can talk about that offline, so please reach out if you want to use SQL Express. So this video is going to cover SQLite and SQLite Studio, but again, there is also SQL Server Express, Oracle, and you might use a full SQL Server version or Oracle if you would prefer, and I will just convert those databases for you if you decide to do it. So what is SQLite? SQLite is open source, very simple database designed for students to learn SQL. So there's a little practical use to that, but again, like database is very small and not a lot of use for larger enterprises, but for learning environments, it's a fantastic database. It's open source, so there might be some minor issues, but I have not encountered any. If you do encounter them, please let me know. We can submit a bug to SQLite. Well, there is SQLite database, and then there is an editor. So the purpose of the editor is to actually help you write SQL queries against the database. It also helps you to create tables, update tables, insert data in the tables. There's multiple use for that, but the main idea is it's going to improve your life a little bit through some graphic interface where you can either use graphic interface or you can potentially use SQL scripts, but again, both are available. So for the purpose of this class, we will be using SQLite database and SQLite Studio as an editor to write SQL against SQLite database. Well, why do we use SQL editors? So without SQL editors, you will be working with black screens, as I'm showing you here. It's doable, it's possible, but it's a little inconvenient. If you prefer black screen like this, you might not even want to install SQLite Studio. But again, I strongly encourage you to do it because it's easier and simpler, and presentation is a little better than those Windows command line screens. So for SQLite editor, SQLite Studio editor, that's how it's going to look. Once you install it, you will have a view of the database on the left, and on the right, you can open different editors and you can write your SQL. And on the bottom here, you will see the result set of your query execution. And well, the nice thing is, after you close the database, your SQL editor does not disappear, so it's still going to be there. Today we're going to go through basic installation before we're going to go through the slides, but after that, I'm going to show you how to do a basic installation, again, for Windows. And then we will open the database and see where we should be before the next class. Here's a couple of simple databases that we'll be using: Chinook, Northwind. We need to unzip them. As we open the database in SQL Editor, we're going to see a couple of the screens similar to that. And when we're done working, we will need to disconnect from SQL Studio, because if we don't, there might be a couple of issues with the database. They're all solvable, but disconnect is an important function to use. So that's all I have here. Let me show you guys how to download and install SQLite. Let's go to the browser and let's type. I do have links in the documents, but you can just type SQLite downloads, and it's going to bring you to SQLite download page. Again, it's open source software. That's why it's a little tricky, not tricky, but it's a little not as convenient to install as others. So I'm going to go to precompiled binaries for Windows, and I'm going to download those, and it's going to ask me where to download. I'm going to put them on the desktop just because it's more convenient for me, but for you guys, just put them somewhere where you know where it is. Create a folder for MIS Rate class where you will be saving all your work. So let's save it on the desktop in SQLite, and then we will navigate to the specific folder on my desktop, and which is SQLite, and we're going to unzip it. We're going to extract all, and where is it? Yes, extract all, and we're going to extract it. All right. So now we have a folder with DLL and SQL definition. You don't need to do absolutely anything with that. Let's just set it there, and that would be your database engine. So let's get out of here, and let's go to download again. And this time we're gonna download SQLite Studio. So we're gonna type SQLite Studio. Download. As you can see that I already did it multiple times. So we're gonna go to SQLite Studio download here, first link, and we are going to download it. I'll put it somewhere in, I mean, I'm gonna put it in the same folder. It's just more convenient for me. So I'm gonna put it here, and then I'm going to install it. So it's going to ask me to go through the basic installation, and I'm gonna, how do I put it down? Okay. Then I'm gonna go through accept an agreement, and I'm going to give it yes, and I'm gonna put it in the program files. So finish and install it. Excuse me. All right. So let's finish the install, and let's open it. So, well, it's gonna open by default. So here is your basic screen. Well, I mean, what to do here? So first of all, we need to go to the view and enable our database window. So once you click view database, again, here it's, if you log into the screen and your screen is going to be version empty, that's what you need to do. You need to go to the view and check the database. So that would show you database window, and now we want to go and connect to the database. So we click add database, and then we need to navigate to the folder where your SQLite is. But before we do that, we need what I did forget to do, I forgot to download the database. So I'm going to go to our class, and I'm going to navigate to module 7. I think no, it's going to be module 9, and I'm going to install Chinook SQLite zip database. So I'm going to download it to the specific folder. Well, I'm going to use the same folder, and I'm going to go navigate back to this folder. And yes, we will extract it here, replace all the files in destination, and okay, so we're gonna go to the SQLite, and here we have a Chinook database. Well, this file, Chinook SQLite zip, is the database. So what we really need to do is we need to unzip it, and We need to unzip it, extract all here, and we're going to extract it. And then we have two files here. We have an entity relationship diagram. It should be familiar for you guys because you looked at many of those diagrams before. That is a diagram of your database that you will be working with. So you can see that it has playlists, and playlists has relationship with playlist tracks, invoices, tracks, artists, genres, media types, and stuff like this. Well, we have customers, employees. So I strongly recommend you guys spend a little bit of time getting familiar with this ERD because we will be working with this database, and I want you to know the database structure. But before we do that, I want to show you where the actual database basis. So this Chinook.db is the actual database that will be connecting through SQLite Studio. So let's go back to the studio and let's add the database. Now we download the database and we have it. So conveniently, it's gonna bring me back to the folder. If not, I need to go to SQLite, Chinook SQLite, and that's where my database folder is. I'm going to select this database. Come on. I'm going to select this database, and I'm going to click OK. And now I'm connected to the database. So if I double click, this is a Chinook database that we'll be using for exercises. If I double click it, I can see that it has multiple tables. Again, like those tables we saw in ERD. And you can expand it. You can see columns here, and you can see, like, for example, albums has 3 different columns. You can write multiple queries, but the beauty of the editor is going to help you write any type of statements, whether you're talking about inserting data to the database, adding new tables, anything it can handle. It can create you a template for. So there's 2 ways of writing queries. For example, I know that say I want to see the content of the album table. So I want to find everything that is there. So I can go to tools, I can open SQL editor, and I can type the name here. So I'm gonna select everything from the album. So we're gonna type select asterisk from album. And then I'm going to execute it. Oh, I misspelled it. So it's going to be albums. Okay, that's better. And see, when you spell it correctly, the name of the table is going to be in blue, so it means that it's correct. So below, and when you execute query incorrectly, it's gonna show you error here. So you can see that first time I executed incorrectly, and then I fixed it, and it said query finished in 4 microseconds. So if you look at the screen, you can see that table albums has a total of 347 rows, and it has 3 columns: album ID, artist ID, and title. And you can see it through the grid view or through the form view. Grid view is usually more convenient, but again, like, I mean, if you prefer form view, you can do it too. So that is one way to write the query. And then we will be practicing queries for the next 2 lectures. So I want you guys to get familiar with that. But there is another way, a little bit more simple than this one. And again, that is your query SQL query editor window 1, and it's going to stay open. So another way to write SQL is to right click at the table, and then you can go to generate query for a table, and you can do select. And it's going to write select for you, but it's going to list all the columns the table has. It's convenient when you don't need to select everything, but you say you want to select a specific column from the table. So for example, if you want to select only album ID from albums, you can delete everything, and here, boom, you have all your album IDs. And you can see that this query 2 now is open here. So now I have 2 query editors, okay? Well, there's also a way to generate an update for a table. So for example, say for example, I want to update albums and set album ID to say maybe 1000, where album ID is equal to 344. And then, well, here isn't comma here. And now you can see that, well, if I put comma here, it tells me that my syntax is incorrect and it's going to underline it with red. So when I remove comma, syntax is correct. So I can execute that, and it tells me that it has issue executing. Well, probably album ID is auto increment, but I mean, you got an idea how to update the table. So then I can also, for example, insert data into the table. So I can go and generate insert statement, and here it gives me the first part of the insert, and then I'm going to give it maybe 500, and then title is going to be test, test, and artist ID is going to be artist ID, doesn't matter. So now I can execute that, and it's going to give me error again because probably it doesn't want me to add album ID because it's auto-generated field. I believe that's an issue. And we can execute it now. Well, it still doesn't want to execute, but you get a basic idea how to insert and update data in the table. So you can also create new tables, and there is a prompt for that. So you can create a table, and it's going to give you two ways to create it. You can either go and give it a table name, for example, test, and you can start adding columns one by one. For example, we want to get add column ID, and we want to call it integer, and for example, primary key, and say it's not null. Well, it's very basic, but I just want to show you guys how to do it. And then you click OK, and you have first column here, and you can go ahead and add column probably name, and you can call it text, and the size of the text is going to be 50 characters, and you can add your text here. So now you have a table. Well, but remember that statement needs to be committed. So unlike updates to the data table, I need to click this green button here, and it's going to show me how my tables is going to look. And then I'm going to click OK, and my test table is going to be here. So, well, I can open it, and you can see my two columns, and I can remember, I can click, do a right click and insert data, and we can insert ID and name. And for example, I want to insert one for ID and name, and we're going to test it, put a test name here, and we're going to execute it, and it says that it affected one row. So now we can go back to this query and generate a select statement for that and execute it, and you can see that one of my rows is here. So that is very basic of what I wanted to show you guys, and that's what you need to get done for the next class. I want to make sure that you all came to class prepared, and you all have Chinook database available in SQLite Studio. If you have problems, again, you have my contact, please contact me, but we will be using this database in class, so it's very important that you go through all this video and get those steps done. But before I let you go, I wanted to show you what to do when you're done working with SQL. Well, first of all, see all your SQL editors are here. So if there is something you need to do, you can go ahead and get it from here. But well, I want you to, when you're done working with the database, I want you to go ahead, select this database and click disconnect. And then I want you to remove this database. And yes, it asks you if you want to remove the database and you say yes. And then it's safe for you to exit the editor. So you can exit and you're done. Next time you're gonna open the editor, let's give it a second. Come on. All right. So next time you're going to open the editor, your database is not going to be here. But guess what? All your SQL is still going to be here. So by default, all your SQL is not going to disappear. So if you, God forbid, forgot to save it for your homework, do not stress. Next time you're going to open SQL editor, is going to be saved. So, well, you go through the same steps. If you want to work with the same database, you select the database that you connected before. You can double click it or just select from here and click OK, and your database is back. And if you open it, you would see that my test table that I created earlier is still there. All right, and that's all I wanted to show you guys. So thank you for watching and see you in class next week.